like my airplane is stalling. Falling into my calling, I want it to immerse me. Don't put me up, I'm just falling. I'm just falling.
Grace and peace. Happy GODfident Mondays.
It's time for my pitch. It's time for my pitch to you. It's time for my pitch to you so that hopefully this pitch would impact you to go and pitch this to others. Okay. The title for today is What a Huge Harvest. And because the harvest is so huge, that means we need some help. I need some help. I want some help. I need some help. I want some help. And what do I want and need help in? I want and I need help in this fight. See, like the Army and like the Marines and the Air Force, right? People have a negative perspective about this relationship with God thing. People, at many times, their only definition when it comes to even having a relationship with God starts and ends with that's negative. Right? Like the Army and the Marines, all you've been exposed to are the negatives when it comes to this experience of walk with God. So from your perspective, all you know is that when you submit to God, you probably can't party no more. All you know is that when you submit to God, there's no more turn up and fun you can have in your life. All you know is that when you submit to God, like you've probably been fed, you got to let people take advantage of you, because the Bible says when someone slaps you, turn the other cheek and let them slap the other. You're convinced that when you submit to this relationship and come into family with God, that now you got to become a punk. That now you got to be this square and you can't even live anymore. That's part of the reason why you've been fixed to the idea that you want to turn up first, live your best life first, and then when you come of age, I'll submit to God now. But I want to pitch to you something different. I want to pitch to you, number one, that I'm only 34 years old. Number two, that I'm telling you that there is a joy that you get from being in relationship with God that you can't find in the clubs, that you can't find when it comes to being connected to toxicity, that you can't find when it comes to doing the things that you know just ain't feeding you. Now, I want to be super clear about what I'm saying, because the goal is not to make you feel away, but at the same time, I want you to feel away. I want you to feel like you're missing something. I want you to feel like there's something that you haven't quite latched onto. And if you have latched onto it, I want you to feel like there's a thirst for more. I'm telling you, I am a representative for someone who ain't lived the perfect life. I'm a representative for someone who has messed up so many times. I've hurt some of the closest people to me because of my stupidity, because of my unwillingness just to completely and consistently submit to the will of God. I'm telling you here today, I'm telling you that I am a walking miracle only because I've submitted to God taking complete control of my life. The theme for this year is quality in 2023. And what God is getting us to understand is that in order to get in position to receive the quality God has for us, we've got to submit at many of the things that we didn't want to let go of. We've got to commit to this new way. We've got to understand that our way just won't be the best way. Now, in this pitch, I got to be real with you too. Just because you are submitting to the relationship with God don't mean that life is about to get easier. Yeah, I'm not going to pull no punches. I'm not going to front on you and try to pitch like once you submit and step into this relationship, like everything is going to be made perfect. Now, there's a chance that it may feel worse before it gets better. There's a chance that in your immediate experience, it may feel like the enemy is attacking you more than he's ever attacked you before. There's a chance that through your relationships or your marriages, right, whatever it is that you are connected to, it may seem as if it gets worse the further and further you get closer to God. Need I just let you know that the perspective that the enemy wants you to have is that this God thing ain't working. The perspective the enemy wants you to have is I might as well go back to doing what I was doing before. Because at least before, I didn't have to worry about these issues. But can I submit to you a different perspective? What if it's the fact that the enemy knows the direction you are now going? And because the enemy knows the direction you are now going, he wants to flood you and overwhelm you with feelings that it ain't gonna work. See, the enemy's goal is to tire you out and get you fatigued before you finish your race. And if he could overwhelm you in the first few steps of your relationship with God, then by golly, your perspective with the relationship with God would be, I don't think I should continue. Like, real talk, when it comes to this, at many times, our perspective of God starts and ends with negative. But I'm telling you that God will grant you a peace that surpasses all understanding. That means that the peace will literally outrun your negative thinking. The peace will literally outrun the trials and tribulations that you may have to experience, because sometimes God needs to allow you to dwell there in the crazy. Yeah, we may not like how this sounds. God may need to allow you to dwell there in the oven being cooked. Why are you making this relation to food, Brother Howard? Well, because at many times life circumstances makes us feel like we're being perpetually burned. Like we came out of summer, hit fall, went into winter, and we still feeling the heat of life. But at many times it's because God has already foresaw that in the future you are going to come out as pure gold. But in order to get you to the place in the position of gold, I first have to allow you to be burned a few times. Yeah, unfortunately, I had to allow you to be burned by those relationships because you thought the relationship was more important than me. I had to allow you to be burned by your career and your job situation because you put that before me. I had to allow you to experience what you need to experience to teach you that without me, your life means nothing.